like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and endly ruminate the morning's danger. And their gesture sad, investing lank-lean cheeks and more worn coats, presenteth them unto the gazing moon, so many glory ghosts. Oh now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent, let him cry, praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes and visits all his hosts, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded him, nor doth he dedicate one jot of color unto the weary in all watch at night, but freshly looks and overbears a tent with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every wretch pinning and pale before, behold him plucks comfort from his looks. A largest universal like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to every one, thawing cold fear that mean and gentle all behold, as may unworthiness define a little touch of Harry in the night. And so our seam must to the battle fly, where, oh for pity, we shall disgrace where 4 or 5 most vile and ragged fools, right ill disposed in all ridiculous, the name of Agincourt, yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be.
All right, you saw the line, you heard the line, a little touch of Harry in the night, and that was a reference to what? What is being described here? What's Henry doing the morning before the battle? Well, let me.
I read it and I still don't know what it is.
Okay,
So.
that's why we're here. Back it up. All right, look at line 29 and 30. Everybody there? And underline it so you won't have to look for it next time. You'll see it. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band? Underline all this. Line 29 and 30. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry, praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes and visits all his hosts, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded him. And I'll stop there. All that's describing what is Henry doing? Walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent. Let him cry praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes and visits all his hosts. So what's Henry do? The royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, tent to tent.
So he's just like talking to soldiers
That's
kind
right.
of and like socializing.
That's right. To encourage them.
That's a good king also.
That
because
is.
He's kind of like stooping below his position.
That is exactly right. We never see the king of France on the battlefield. Never see him. So anyway, that's what he's doing. And that's what it says in line 47. Go back and look for it for 5, 6, 48. A little touch of Harry in the night. That's just a reference to Harry. That is King Henry encouraging his men. Everybody got that? Okay, so what is the difference in the two armies the day before the battle? Yeah, John.
France, overconfident, think it's going to be an easy win, and the King's not really win a lot, whereas in England, they're prepared for it. They know it's going to be hard, but they're not overconfident, and they're just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nervous, maybe?
Look at the top of the page. Line 24. Everybody there? Top of page 135.
And they ruminate.
They ruminate. They sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger. And their gestures sad, investing lank, lean cheeks and war-torn coats. What does it mean to ruminate?
To like mull, marinate.
That's right. So they are sitting. What are the French doing? Look at line 25. Line 18. Proud. Turn to line 18, the previous page. Again, underline it. You won't be able to find it again if you don't underline it now.
What was the line number?
The one I'm looking now is about line 18. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, The confident and overlusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and chide the crippled, tardy-gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away.
Are they gonna, I'm confused, cause do they have like a false sense of like pride? Or do they have like a proper, because okay, don't the French like greatly outnumber the English?
Yeah.
And the weather's awful in England,
Yes.
and it's just kind of like everything's in the French favor.
Yes,
So
yes,
there's
yes,
this-
yes.
But they have like still kind of a false, loftiness.
Well,
about them.
particularly at the end of the day, they'll realize it was false. They don't realize that now. We do, because we know how it ends. Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
Is this like, is French being overconfident, is that like actually in the history books? Or is
Good-
it
good
just like
question.
some input on like French dramatic?
Good question. I don't know that we can know that. But we do know that they outnumbered the English. So that would lend a writer like Shakespeare to think they were overconfident. And don't forget, who's writing this? An Englishman. He's trying to make the French look as bad as possible. I'm not sure that's Shakespeare. That is just sort of the typical English response to the French. And he's trying to make Henry look as great as possible. So he's trying to make the two sides look as different as possible. You get that? This is like Rocky 1 or something, you know, like you're trying to make the other team look unbeatable so that it makes, you know, everybody loves underdogs. And so the French are overconfident and playing dice, partying. The English can hear them. They're only 1,500 feet away, so they can hear them. And the English are quiet and sad and sick and hungry. And how did they win this? Well, we know historically why they won it. What was the answer? Why did the English historically, I mean, the facts are, why did they win the Battle of Agincourt? The archers. They had thousands of archers, fewer than the English, I mean the French, but the archers killed all those French knights who had, French had thousands of knights that didn't even make it to the enemy line because they were killed by the archers. And then so the technology, I don't know why the French didn't have equal technology, but the technology won it in courage and daring. That always, sometimes it loses, but that usually wins in warfare. Who's the most daring? Who's willing to take the biggest risk? Sometimes that's the guy that'll win the battle. All right, so here we go, turn the page. Henry, our new Henry, is doing what the chorus just said. Don't do that.
Oh, good though.
Gloucester, 'tis true that we
Look, wait a minute, start back. 2 syllables, Gloucester.
Gloucester.
And look at the word, Glouces, gloss, or glouse, I like gloss. It's not Gloucester, it's definitely not Chester, so it's just Gloucester. Right.
So Gloucester.
Nope, Gloucester,
Gloucester.
yeah. Put the syllable after the gloss and then Gloucester, 2 syllables.
Gloucester, 'tis true that we are in great danger. The greater therefore should our courage be. Good morrow, brother Bedford. God Almighty, there is some soul of goodness in things evil. Would men observing be distill it out?
Underline that. There is some soul of goodness in things evil. Would men observingly distill it out? This makes Henry look like what? The eternal optimist? You know, here they are. There's no way they can win this. And he says, it's a miserable day, and we're outnumbered 6. And, you know, there's always some good in everything. Let's find the goodness in this situation.
For our bad neighbor makes us early stirrers, which is both healthful and good husbandry. Besides, they are our outward consciences and preachers to us all, admonishing that we should dress us fairly for our end. Thus may we gather honey from the weed and make a moral of the devil himself.
Notice he's saying those guys are great because they're bad neighbors, but they get us up early to prepare for them. So they're still preparing. The English are, and the French, we haven't seen them do anything to prepare. They just boast. Erpingham enters, but the king continues to talk.
Good morrow, Sir Thomas Erpingham. A good soft pillow for that good white head were better than the churlish Turk of France.
Not so, my liege, this lodging likes me better, since I may say, now lie, I lack a king.
'Tis good for men to love their present pains, upon example, so the spirit is ease, and when the mind is quickened out of doubt, the organs, though defunct and dead before, break up their drowsy grave, and newly move with casted slow and fresh legerity. Lend me thy coat, Sir Thomas. Brothers both, commend me to the princes in our camp. Do my good morrow to them, and anon desire them all to my pavilion.
Okay, before we leave that, would you underline, "'Tis good for men to love their present pains"? Why does he say that? Line 18 and 19. Why is it good to love the suffering or discomfort you're currently going through?
So when you get out of it, you'll realize how far you've come.
That's a good point. Notice what he says. He says, so the spirit is eased, and when the mind is quickened out of doubt, the organs, though defunct and dead before, break up their drowsy grave, and newly move with casted slough and fresh legerity. So if you don't worry about something, what advantages does that give you? If you stop worrying and complaining, and you start just accepting the situation.
Your heart won't be into making more of an impact.
So you're not wasting your energy complaining. Now you can put your energy into actually doing something. And it actually says, you thought you couldn't get out of bed in the morning, you just aches and pains, and you say, wait a minute, this is Monday, I gotta do it. This is gonna be a good day. Suddenly, you stop complaining, your body kind of fills with energy, there's a lot of truth in that. Which is one reason why we love Shakespeare, because he includes a lot of things. Get that, why our present, it's good for men to love their present pain. Don't complain about it, just accept it. Suddenly that'll give you energy, that'll give you strength.
I don't know about you, but I complain a lot.
You what?
I complain a lot on Monday mornings, getting out of bed the entire time.
Well, the Bible reminds us, be anxious about nothing and everything, and to pray. I think it makes a lot of sense to not waste your time complaining when you know you gotta come. Just don't complain about it, just do it. Then suddenly, maybe you actually like it. You get something out of it. All right, Gloucester, we shall, my liege. Erpingham.
Shall I attend your grace?
No, my good knight, go with my brothers to my lords of England. I and my bosom must debate a while, and then I would no other company.
The Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Harry.
Everybody's gone from the stage except Harry.
God of mercy and cold heart, thou speakest uncheerfully.
Who's our pistol? Okay, if you can read the French, what he says is who goes there. He's a sentry, but it's in French. Qui vous,
Oui, oui.
qui vous,
Qui slop.
A friend.
that means who's
That
there?
was pleasure.
Discuss unto me, art thou officer, or art thou base, common, and popular?
I am a gentleman of the company.
Trailest thou the puissant pike?
Even so, what are you?
As good a gentleman as the emperor.
Then you are a better than the king.
The king's a bowed cock and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, of parents good, a fist most valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe, and from heartstring I love the lovely bully. What is thy name?
Harry Leroy.
Okay, what does that literally mean? Harry Leroy.
King of Henry.
The king of France.
What? The King of Roy. Henry?
Yeah, well, where do you see that?
I'm guessing. Oh wait, it means for the king, so Henry of the king, for the king.
So, where do you get Henry?
His name is Harry, I guess it's a nickname.
There you go. What about Leroy? That's French for what?
The king.
The king. So he's telling him exactly who he is. I'm Henry the King, but he says Harry Leroy. Pistol knows the guy. He knows Pistol. He's just not acknowledging that. But Pistol, not being the brightest guy in the world, doesn't figure it out. So, Pistol.
Okay. Leroy, a Cornish name. Art thou of Cornish crew?
No, I'm a Welshman.
Knowest thou Llewellyn?
Yes.
Tell him I'll knock his Davy's Day.
So this will happen again later in the act, but knock his leek. A leek is like an onion. It is the national flower of Wales.
I love leeks so much, they're really good.
They look like palm leaves. If you ever saw, I've never actually seen one, but if you look it up, it's like, so they would stick it, you know, in their hats, and they look like sort of a plume or something.
Have you
And-
eaten leek?
Not that I'm aware of.
Juice to
Wait,
leek one time, it was
it's
disgusting.
good, like, it's like a mild onion.
There's a
Yeah,
leak.
I've, you know,
And you can like stir fry it or like boil it, and
They-
it gets tender.
there were leeks in Egypt. In the Old Testament, the Hebrews talked about, I wish we were back in Egypt, we could eat the leeks and the, whatever. So I've never had one that I know of. But he says, knock his leek, so that means the frond from his hat. So on St. David's Day, that's the national day of Wales. The Welsh would put these leeks, fronds, on their hats. And Pistol said, remember he and Llewellyn got into it last time they were together. So anyway, that's what it means. Henry,
Do not you wear your dagger in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours,
Art thou his friend?
and his kinsman too.
The figo for thee then.
that's basically giving him an obscene
Go to
gesture.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thank you, God be with you.
My name is Pistol Call.
It sorts well with your fierceness.
All right, now Llewellyn and Gower come in, and I guess he kind of ducks into the shadows because they would recognize him. So Gower, are you Gower?
Oh yeah, I'm going. Captain Llewellyn.
So in the name of Jesus Christ, speak fewer, with the greatest admiration in the universal world, and true and ancient, is it
Prerogatives, he meant to say.
Prerogatives,
But
okay.
he says prerogatives.
Prerogatives. And laws of the wars is not kept. If you would take the pains to examine the words of Pompey the Great, you shall find, I warrant you, that there is no tittle tattle, nor double babble in Pompey's camp. I warrant you, you shall find the ceremonies of the wars, and the cares of it, and the forms of it, and the sobriety of it, and the modesty of it to be otherwise.
Why? The enemy is loud. You hear him all night.
If the enemy is an ass and a fool, and a prating coxcomb, it is meet, think you, that we should also look you be an ass and a fool, and a prating coxcomb in your own conscience.
I will speak lower.
I will pray you and beseech you that you will.
Fluent, let's keep our voices down, and wow, the French are partying over there. And he says, we don't have to, we're not like them, we're not gonna be like them. All right, Henry.
Though it appear without fashion, there is much care and valor in this Welshman.
All right, the three soldiers, Bates, Courts, and Williams. Bates, Courts, we won't get far, but they play an important role in the story at this point. By the way, Bates is John Bates, and Jonathan Bates raised
John
his
Bates
hand one
in
day and
Downton
said,
Abbey.
he said, really?
Downton Abbey, yeah.
I'd forgotten that. But Jonathan Bates, your classmate, he raised his hand and says, I'd like to be John Bates. I
That's
said, you
fine.
are John Bates. But anyway, it's the first time
I
that's
bet,
ever.
I bet you Anne Grace will say that John Bates is not that.
I don't think she mentioned that. Which one is John Bates?
Okay, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, cause he married, I'm not gonna spoil anything, he's the one that's put on trial for like killing his wife, but he doesn't, like, but he's.
Bates, he works with, he married the. What?
He's the servant who has the criminal.
My favorite character in that.
He's really
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
All right, you know, we're not gonna have time to do this, so listen up. We're gonna break it off here.